It was Lord Shaftesbury. You know, this slogan, a land without a people without a land, is not at all Jewish. It's British. It's British. Sorry? No, it's British. Okay. It's British. There are historians. Sorry. You don't think it's a good idea? This is the reason it's German? No. But by the way, Shaftesbury was the guy that diffused it largely in the audience, in the British audience, British journalism. Maybe he didn't invent the idea. But you know, the evangelists from the 19th century had a lot of influence of political persons in Britain. I will make it shorter. 1917. Your Balfour, Lord Balfour, Arthur Balfour, give the declaration, the letter to Rothschild, you know. He sent a letter November 1917 to Rothschild saying a homeland. In that time, we have to remember, November 1917, in Palestine, there are 700,000 Arabs, 60,000 of Jews. You have to remember, the Zionist Congress was in 1997. From 1997 till 1917, yeah, it's 20 years. Only 30,000 Zionists emigrated to Palestine, because the other 30,000 was anti-Zionist in Jerusalem. Jews that were against the idea of a Jewish state. This is the date of the declaration of the Balfour in 1917. By the way, Balfour, the others, member of the government, of the British government, Lloyd George and others, were pro-Zionist. Clearly pro-Zionist for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons was the background, the ideological religious background. The Jews, it will be good, they will return to Palestine. Secondly, is the interest. It always is going very practical in the British tradition now. You know, the imperialist idea, the ideological idea. About Balfour himself, he was a little bit anti-Semitic. Very tough to the Jewish emigrants that came from the Russian Empire. Very, very tough. He's one of the responsible of the law, anti-immigrant law in Britain against Jews that came from the East. And I asked myself, writing the book, if he saw, you know, in Israel, Balfour is considered the second Moses. A second Moses, really. There is a street, by the way, there is a street after Balfour, and not after a lot of other things, that it's very surprising that they don't have, you know, streets in Israel. But Balfour, there is even a village that after the name of Balfour. He was an anti-Semitic. We have evidence that, you know, he didn't like the Jews. And he was afraid from this emigration. And he's one of the responsible of the law against the Jewish emigration to Britain. But this is not so important. The departure point of the existence of Zionism in Israel is not the Balfour Declaration. It is the law of 1924 that was fixed in the United States against emigration. If you want to understand the date of the birth of the idea of an Israeli state, is first of all 1924. Till 1924, more or less 3 million of immigrants from the East went to the West, coming to the United States from New York, from Montreal till Buenos Aires. In the same time, it was something like, 60,000 that went to Palestine. After the law of 24, we can see much more emigration to Palestine, especially in the 30s, the German Jews that were kicked out because of the Nazism. I followed all these steps. I tried to understand the place of the land of Israel and also the word, the concept. The land of Israel is not a biblical concept at all. It's a Talmudic religious concept. It's not a geopolitical concept at all. Only Zionism took this concept and built of it a notion of a homeland or national territory. Now, not to be too long, I will stress one thing. The notion of the land of Israel, the notion of the historical right of the Jews on the land. By the way, in my point of view, it's a crazy notion. After 2,000 years, to have a historical notion, right, it's unbelievable. You can imagine it? If we will try to fix the world after the historical rights of people on lands, we have to support the Serb when they try to destroy the Kosovar. It's not 2,000 years, it's 200 years. There were people with the Serb dialect that were living in Kosovo. Then if the Jews has a right on the land, why the Serbs don't have a right on Kosovo? Why the Arabs has not a right on Spain? And we can continue till Manhattan. Why the Indians will have not a right to kick out all the white and black people in Manhattan? It's not 2,000 years. And maybe you will start to think about kicking out the Normans from here. There is, it's a crazy thing, the notion of historical right. And it is in the health of the Zionism, the historical right. But what is the relationship of all these stories with the political actuality? What is the reason the Zionists left nice people? I imagine that you heard Amos Oz. You know who is Amos Oz. Aleph Bet Yeshua. The second one is a friend. You see, there are nice people that are against the occupation of the occupied territories. Very nice people that think that the Jews has not to dominate 45 years a Palestinian population without any rights. Not 45 days, not 45 months, 45 years keeping a population without any political, civic, or trade union rights. Now, these nice left people, liberal Zionists, from 1967, they have a problem. Because if they justified Zionism with the idea that there is a historical right, that the land of Israel was always a homeland for the Jew, what is the problem? The homeland of the Jew after the Zionist myth is not Tel Aviv, not Haifa, not the coast. Where is the homeland? The mythology, biblical homeland of the Jew. Bethlehem, Jerusalem, Hebron, Nablus, Jericho. This is the homeland. Every child in Israel is studying the Bible as a historical book. From 7-year-old till the 18 years. And he knows that this is the homeland. In Jericho, in Bethlehem. Then how come that Amos Oz, Aleph Bet Yeshua, the left Zionists, asking to leave all these places of our homeland? Is for them is to like you will renounce of Cambridge and Oxford. Do you understand it? This is the homeland. In the biblical time, Tel Aviv, Haifa wasn't important in the myth. But these areas are important. Then all these Zionists, leftists, liberals, nice people, they are advising to go out from the homeland to a foreign place that is called Tel Aviv. Okay, I am a patriot. Do you know it? I was asked today, what is my homeland? It's not Paris, it's not London. What is my homeland? I think it's Tel Aviv. It's not the land of Israel. Because the land of Israel has not borders. what is the danger of all this myth today? The land of Israel has not borders. It's not the Jordani. The term the land of Israel is not stopping a Jordani at all. In the Zionist myth, the land of Israel is still Rabat Ammon, still Amman. It's a part of the land of Israel. If we wouldn't stop in Jordani, if we conquered also the other part.
You have to go to Syria and into Iraq.
Syria is a part of our land, of our homeland. It's not a Jew.
From the
Iraq
river to the
Nile. Yeah.
To the Euphrates.
Yeah. Now, I will not come to political questions. I imagine that you will have it in your questions, and I will stop here. Okay?
Okay. Well, thank you very much indeed for that. And I think we'll now open the meeting to questions. There'll be quite a few of those. I'll take that one there. There's a hand there.
Shlomo, you said that the land of Israel was not delineated in the Bible. There's no mention of Israel in the Bible. I would point you to Ezekiel chapter 47, Ezekiel 40 verse 2, Samuel 13:19, and Chronicles 34:7. Israel is mentioned several times in the Bible. And
how many?
So is Judah. Now, I didn't interrupt you. Don't interrupt me, Shlomo.
Okay.
Excuse me, could people identify them?
Jonathan Hoffman.
Thank you.
The second point, Shlomo, you say Israel is not a biblical concept. Unfortunately, you've written yet another book which shows you're an academic fraud. You cherry-pick sources that you pretend proves your point. You even take them out of context when it suits you. The only people who believe you are those who've already made up their minds that Zionism is the root of all evil. You're a charlatan, Shlomo.
Thank you.
You can answer that. Yeah.
I will answer very, very shortly. You know, we are lucky today, because of the internet, to have search machine. How we say it in a search machine?
Search engine.
You know, the Bible is online. You know it? Also the New Testament. Don't be afraid. The Bible is online. Now, after this meeting, I advise you to go at home to put the term land of Israel. By the way, you've
had your say. No, you're not.
Sorry that I interrupted you. You will continue all the evening because of it? Now, I repeat one thing. I ask you. 11 times in the Bible we have the concept of the land of Israel. Most of the places it's clear that this is the land of the kingdom of North, Israel kingdom, not Judah. Jerusalem is not a part of the land of Israel in the Bible. I insist. There is sentence that it's not clear, but there is others in the 11th sentence that mention the term land of Israel. It's clear that Jerusalem is not a part of the land of Israel. Because the land of Israel, because it wasn't a concept of land of Israel. Now, if 11 times you can find the land of Israel, you will find more than 50 times the term land of Canaan has a term of this place. Now you can find there 25 times, I think. Don't catch me with numbers, of the land of Judah, but not the land of Israel. Now, there is a discussion. It's a biblical term or not. Now, do you know the names of Joseph Flavius, the great historian, Jewish historian, that were living after the Bible? Do you know the book of the Maccabee?
Yeah.
By the way, in the Puritan Revolution, it was a very popular book. because Cromwell saw himself a Judah, the Maccabee. It was Lord Shaftesbury. You know, this slogan, a land without a people without a land, is not at all Jewish. It's British. It's British. Sorry? No, it's British. Okay. It's British. There are historians. Sorry. You don't think it's a good idea? This is the reason it's German? No. But by the way, Shaftesbury was the guy that diffused it largely in the audience, in the British audience, British journalism. Maybe he didn't invent the idea. But you know, the evangelists from the 19th century had a lot of influence of political persons in Britain. I will make it shorter. 1917. Lord Balfour, Arthur Balfour, of the Balfour in 1917. By the way, Balfour, the others, member of the government, of the British government, Lloyd George and others, were pro-Zionist. Clearly pro-Zionist for a lot of reasons. One of the reasons was the background, the ideological religious background. The Jews, it will be good, they will return to Palestine. Secondly, is the interest. It always is going very practical in the give the declaration, the letter to Rothschild, you know. He sent a letter November 1917 to Rothschild saying a homeland. In that time, we have to remember November 1917, in Palestine there are 700,000 Arabs, 60,000 of Jews. You have to remember, the Zionist Congress was in 1997. From 1997 till 1917, yeah, it's 20 years. Only 30,000 Zionists emigrated to Palestine, because the other 30,000 was anti-Zionist in Jerusalem. Jews that were against the idea of a Jewish state. This is the date of the declaration.